Hello children, there are some apples visible on your screen right now. If I ask you to count these apples, can you count them? Yes, these are 5 apples. It means you started your counting from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But why didn't you start your counting from 0? Because naturally we start counting from 1. Whenever someone asks you to count or whenever you want to count something, you always starts with 1. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. These are called natural numbers or the counting numbers. But when we include 0 in the set of these counting numbers, they becomes whole numbers. So now this is clear that natural numbers starts with 1 and the whole numbers starts with 0. If we denote the set of natural numbers by n, how will we represent? N is equals to, in curly bracket we will write 1, 2, 3. We will start with 1 because natural number starts with 1 and so on. Clear? If we represent whole number by W, we will write the set of whole number as, in curly brackets, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Now let's know about some facts related to natural numbers and the counting numbers. The smallest natural number, as you can see in the set of these natural numbers, the smallest natural number is 1. 0 is the smallest whole number. Third is, all natural numbers are whole numbers. As you can see here, all natural numbers are present in whole numbers also. Clear? 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on, all the natural numbers are present in whole numbers. So we can say that all natural numbers are the whole numbers. But all whole numbers are not the natural numbers. Why? Because 0 is a whole number, but this is not present in the set of natural numbers. So 0 is the whole number but not the natural number. So all the whole numbers are not the natural numbers. After understanding about the whole numbers and the natural numbers, let's further proceed to the predecessor and the successor. So what is predecessor and successor? In class 1 and 2, you all have studied about the before and after. These are the same as before and the after. Here pre indicates previous, that means before. So predecessor is same as before and successor is same as after. When you get success in your exam, you move to the further classes now. That's why to find the predecessor, we subtract 1 and to find the successor, we add 1. Predecessor means before and successor means after. Suppose you want to find the predecessor and the successor of 12. Predecessor of 12 means the number which comes before 12. That is 11. And the successor of 12 is the number that comes after 12. That is 13. But if we take any larger number like 52,896, in these cases, it may possible that you get confused sometime to find the predecessor or successor. So what do? To find the predecessor or the before number, you subtract 1 from the number, and to find the successor, the number that is coming after that number, you add 1. So let's find the predecessor of 52,896. Subtract 1 from it. It becomes 52,895. Now what about the successor? You will add 1 in it to find the successor. So it will become 52,897. Right? So till now you have studied about the natural numbers which starts with 1, whole numbers which starts from 0, predecessor means before. To find the predecessor you subtract 1, successor means after. To find the successor you add 1. Now let us understand about the number line. What is number line? When we represent numbers on the line, that is called the number line. Here we are representing the whole numbers and whole numbers starts from 0. So here on the number line I am representing the numbers from the 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. On the number line, when we move from the left to right, the number increases. And when we move from the right to left, the numbers decreases. We can perform so many operations like addition, subtractions and multiplication on the number line. We can add, subtract and multiply the numbers through the number line. Clear? So let us understand how we can do that. Suppose we want to add two numbers 3 and 5. So here we want to add 3 and 5. Here we have two addends. The numbers which we add called addends. So we have two addends 3 and 5. First addend is 3. You want to add 5. Add means you will increase the number. That means you will move 5 steps ahead. So this is 8. You are reaching on 8 now. So what is your answer? 8. Similarly, if you want to subtract, suppose you want to subtract 5 from the 9. 9 is minuend, 5 is subtrahend, and the answer which will you get will be the difference. So here the minuend is 9. So indicate 9 on the number line. You are subtracting 5. So move 5 steps before, back. Clear? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On which number you are right now? You are on 4. So what you are getting? 4. This is your answer. This is the difference of 9 and 5. Clear? Similarly, we can multiply two numbers. Suppose you want to multiply 3 by 4. In repeated addition, how you can write it? 3 multiply 4 means 4 will be added 3 times. Clear? 4 plus 4 plus 4. This can be written as 3 multiply 4. So on number line, firstly we will indicate 4 because first addend is 4. Now you want to add another 4. So move 4 steps ahead. Clear? Now you are on 8. But you want to add 4 more. So move 4 steps ahead. Now you are on 12. This is your answer. Clear? So you can add, subtract and multiply on the number line very easily. Next, let us understand about some properties of whole numbers. Most importantly, we have these 6 properties like closure property, commutative property, associative property, distributive property and the property of 0 and 1. Clear? So let us understand one by one. First property is the closure property. What is closure property? Closure property means when we add or multiply two whole numbers, we get the resultant as the whole number. Clear? If A and B are two whole numbers, if we add them, we will get the answer which will be a whole number. Clear? If we multiply these whole numbers, in that case also resultant, the answer will be the whole number. Let's try it with an example. For example, A is 2 and B is 3. These are two whole numbers. And check it. If we add A plus B, that means 2 plus 3. What do we get? We get 5. This is a whole number. So this property exists here. In case of multiplication, if you multiply 2 by 3 whole numbers, you are multiplying these two whole numbers, what do you get? You get 6, and 6 is also a whole number. So this property also exists for multiplication. Students, closure property only exists for multiplication and addition. It does not exist for subtraction and division. Why it does not exist? Check with an example. Suppose we have two whole numbers 3 and 5. If we subtract 5 from the 3, what do we get? We get minus 2. Minus 2 is not the whole number. This is an integer because negative sign is here. Integers you will study in your further classes. But for now, keep it in mind that this is a negative number. So this is an integer. This is not the whole number. So this property does not exist here because after subtracting two whole numbers, we are not getting the resultant a whole number. Similarly, if you divide 6 by 3, what do you get? 2. You are dividing two whole numbers, you are getting the answer as a whole number. But if you divide 5 by 3, 5 and 3 are whole numbers, but when you divide these two numbers, you does not get a whole number. Whether you get the fraction 5 upon 3 or you get the decimal number, right? This is not the whole number. So, closure property does not exist for subtraction and division. It only exists for addition and the multiplication. Clear? Next property is commutative property. Firstly, understand what is commutative property. When we add or multiply two whole numbers. Clear? When we add or multiply two whole numbers regardless of their order, it means order does not matter, we get the same answer. Let's check it. If we add A to B or we add B to A, that means we are changing their position. First में हमने क्या लिखा? A plus B. Second में लिखा B plus A. But in both the cases, we will get the same answer. This is the commutative property. Similarly, for multiplication, if you multiply A multiply B or you write B multiply A, in both the cases, you will get the same answer. This is the commutative property. Let's check with an example. If we have two whole numbers 3 and 2. If we add these two whole numbers regardless of their order, it means firstly we add 3 plus 2 which is equals to 5. Then we add 2 plus 3 which is equals to 5. So in both the cases we are getting the same answer. It means A plus B is equals to B plus A. So commutative property exists for addition. Check for the multiplication. If you multiply 3 by 2, 3 multiply 2 is 6. Similarly, 2 multiply 3 is also 6. So again we are getting the same answer. So commutative property also exists for multiplication, but it does not exist for subtraction and division. Why? Check with an example. If you subtract 2 from 3, that means 3 minus 2 is 1. But 2 minus 3 is minus 1. And 1 and minus 1 are not equal. We are getting different answer because sign are different now. So this property, commutative property, does not exist for subtraction. Check for the division. If you divide 6 by 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2. But if you divide 3 by 6, what do you get? You get 1 by 2. So in this case also, you are getting different answers after changing the order. So this property, commutative property, does not exist for division. Commutative property only exists for addition and multiplication. It does not exist for subtraction and division. Clear? Next property is associative property. What is associative property? When we add or multiply three numbers like A, B and C are three numbers. And for adding and multiplying, we arrange them in different groups. Then we get the same answer. Clear? Check it. Here we are adding A plus B plus C. In first case, you are grouping B and C. So firstly you will add B and C, then in the resultant you will add A. In next case, you are grouping A and B. So firstly you will add A and B and then you will add the C. But in both the cases, you will get the same answer. Clear? Check with an example. Suppose you have three numbers 2, 7 and 5 and you want to add them. In first case, you are grouping 7 and 5. So firstly you will add 7 and 5. What do you get? 12. And then you will add the 2. 12 plus 2 is 14. In next case, you are grouping 2 and 7. So firstly you will add 2 and 7, which is 9. Then you will add the 5. What is your answer now? 14. So in both the cases, after arranging them differently in different groups, what do you get? You get the same answer. Your answer is 14 in both the cases. So this is the associative property. Associative property also exists for addition and the multiplication. It does not exist for subtraction and division. Clear? Now next property is distributive property. What is distributive property? When we distribute a particular thing to different person, right? Suppose we have A and I am distributing it to B and C. This is the distributive property. In distributive property, we can further divide it into the two parts. Distributive property over addition and the distributive property over subtraction. If in between in the bracket there is plus sign, we will say this is distributive property over addition. But if in bracket there is minus sign, you will say this is distributive property over subtraction. How does it work? Let's check it. Suppose we have three numbers. These are 2 multiply 3 plus 4. This is in the form of A multiply B plus C. What do you do in distributive property? You multiply A by B and A by C. Similarly, you will do here. You will multiply this 2 by 3 and 2 by 4. What do you get? 2 multiply 3 plus 2 multiply 4. 2 multiply 3 is 6 plus 2 multiply 4 is 8. Answer is 14. Clear? Check distributive property of subtraction. 2 multiply 6 minus 4. You will distribute 2 to the 6 and the 4. So this is 2 multiply 6 is 12 minus 2 multiply 4 is 8. What do you get? 4. Clear? So when we distribute particular number to the numbers in the bracket, this is called distributive property. If in bracket there is plus sign, we say that distributive property over addition. If in bracket there is minus sign, we say that distributive property over subtraction, right? Apart from these properties, we have some properties like property of 0 and the property of 1. What is property of 0? If we add 0 in any number, we get the same number. This is called the property of 0. And here 0 is called the additive identity. Students, keep it in your mind that 0 is also called the additive identity. Clear? Now what is the property of 1? When we multiply 1 to any number, we get the same answer. This is called the property of 1. And here 1 is called the multiplicative identity. 0 is the additive identity and 1 is the multiplicative identity. So students, today you have learnt about the natural numbers which starts from 1, whole numbers which starts from 0, predecessor, subtract 1, successor, add 1. Then you have studied about some properties like closure property, commutative property associative property, distributive property, property of 0 and the property of 1. Students, keep all these properties in your mind because these properties will help you in further classes to solve the exercise questions. So till then, keep practicing and be safe at your home. Thank you. Have a good day.